Check out my new riding shoes, mate. Bloody awesome. Plenty of room for your toes to breathe. Bloody lovely. Well, boys and girls, I'm rocking my new riding shoes. Woke up in the middle of the night, turned off the aircon, opened up my bedroom window, turned around and smacked my left foot's little toe up against some furniture. So yeah, she's a bit sore at the moment. I iced it up straight away and just taking some bloody Nurofen. Got the old Nurofen gel on it. I tried to fit my foot inside the shoe, but it was a no-go, mate, too tight. So I thought I'll wear these big thick thongs, they're pretty good. And I'm getting no pain at all just riding now, which is great. So yeah, and you know, for this kind of weather, mate, it's bloody beautiful. So I've gone and got a new chain. This is a 9-speed one by, and it had a HG93 chain on it. But I've got a sneaky suspicion that the actual chain itself was bloody was a Chinese rip-off, because I've got 3 of them. This is my 3rd chain now, and in fact this is a HG93, but the first 2 were HG53s. And when I put the HG53 next to this HG93, how will this do? The Undertaker. Anyway, yeah, this new chain was about almost an inch shorter than the other one. Now, granted, the other one was worn, but yeah, bloody ridiculous difference in length, eh? I'll put the photos up, I'll show you. So yeah, anyway, so what I did is I bought a new chain, and I also bought a new cassette, because the other cassette was about 2,300 k's old, and the old one was a 12 to 34. This one's 11 to 34. So I've still got my big first gear, and I wanted an 11 because I was just pedaling too quickly in top gear, you know. So I wanted to be able to have a little less cadence while I'm sort of cruising along at, say, 45 k's an hour, which I think from memory, with the 12 tooth cog, it was about 120 revs per minute. So let's just have a look and see what we get now. So we're sitting on about 100, just under 100. Yeah, it's around about 100 revs per minute, so I'm saving 20, which is good. I'll put up the differences in the tooth count. So the old cassette, it was a 36, 32, 28, 24, 21, 18, 16, 14 and 12. 12 was just too much cadence trying to do over 40 k's an hour, so it was kind of limiting, and your legs were just going flat out like a bloody duck underwater, you know. Whereas the new cassette, starts off at 36, then goes down 30, 26, 23, 20, 17, 15, 13, and now 11. So I can save about 20 RPMs on the 11 tooth cog now, which is great. So yeah, so I put the new chain on, put the new cassette on, but I still left the original chainring on. And basically trying to ride in first gear, I could just hear this kind of, you know, that kind of grinding noise where the chain doesn't really fit the chainring properly. So I sort of think, well, I guess the chainring's bloody worn. Didn't look that bad, but the old chain that I had on there would stretch that much that it kind of, yeah, sort of raked the bloody the chainring. So I couldn't find a new chainring. Not that I had laying around, because this is a 9-speed, you know. But I did have a spare bloody 12-speed one. So that was to go on my jam squared. So I put that on here, and it's working a charm, mate. So I've just got to test it over a little bit more rough terrain. Don't know how much of that I'll do on my thongs today, but yeah, so far so good. She's holding on pretty well. I might just, yeah, I'll go over the tree roots over on this bloody coast of vines. Anyway, that's pretty rough. I might have just had a bit of a skip then. Not sure if that was on the rear or the front. Yeah, I can see the bottom of the chain when it's on the 11th cog. There's a little bit more slack there, eh? Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I guess it's probably slightly more slack. There's a fair bit of tension in that though, but it's not adjustable. I'll just try and go over these tree roots and see how we go. Normally I probably wouldn't pedal over the rough stuff anyway, you know. I'd want to be just coasting over it. Yeah, right. Kind of not too bad. Went to use my dropper. The dropper's not connected yet. Alright, well that didn't seem too bad. I guess I won't really know until I take it down those Hullies and go over some of those rockier trails. Probably Frogger. It's got a fair bit of chunk in it, which on the hardtail could promote chain drop. So the old Merida seat post is out of my Merida 120. I had a warranty issue and they fixed my old one and they also gave me a new one. So I put my old one back in the bike and I've kept the new one aside, and I thought, well, it's not doing anything, I might as well use it. It's only about 100 or 120 mil drop. The only thing is I had to order a, what do you call it, a seat post shim, because that seat post is 30.9 and the seat tube in this bike's 31.6 on the Focus frame. So yeah, that should be arriving by 24th apparently, 23rd or 24th. So, but I've got the cable all set up and I've got the lever under there as well, which is good. Surprised to be able to fit the dropper lever under here, to be honest. I've got that much stuff in this cockpit. Now I've got the motor controller here sort of just down a little bit further than what it used to be and in a little bit further towards the left. So and then now the fork lockout is sort of above instead of underneath. So yeah, it's kind of as good as it's going to get, but at least I've got this lever here and I keep going to use it even though the seat's not activated yet. It's not.
A few moments later.
Well, I'm just sitting here with my foot on ice and look out the window and the bloody postage just rocked up. He's just brought me parcel. I've got my seat post shim in here already, so it's only what, the bloody 20th today, so I'll be able to go and whack this in and get me bloody dropper going today, I reckon. Bonus! So this is my shim. It's just rocked up, and this end here looks nice and round, but this end here, she looks a bit squashed. Well, this is the seat post shim that I ordered from Pushies. They put it in just a soft packaging. One end looks nice and round, but have a look how squashed that end looks. Geez, if that doesn't work, mate, I want a new one. Oh, look at that, eh? We've got it in, mate. The little bloody shim was a little bit squashed. It was damaged. It was put in a bloody soft plastic packaging, which is a bit crap, but it's quite thin and quite malleable. So that's sitting in there nicely. It's a Merida Expert TR seat post, and we got the lever, and look at this. Yo! So now we've got a dropper on the hardtail, which is bloody awesome. Yeah, what's it say? 412 speed chain only. But it's working. Morning, mate. Cracker of a morning, eh? Have a look at it. Beautiful. Nice and shady through here. Dappled sunlight. My favourite time to ride, mate. And it's even nicer with these new racing shoes. You got little baby swan hens, swamp hens. Have a look at them. I've never seen the baby swamp hens. Alright, just try this a little bit more off-road than what I've been on. See how we go with this chain. Should be alright. This is pretty smooth, to be honest. We'll just see how we go here. I'm not pedaling. I don't want to tempt it like that, but I wouldn't pedal down here anyway. Yeah, chain's still on, so that's a good sign. I'm waiting for the day where one of my wheels slips off the edge of that thing. Well, just rocked up to Happy Valley Reservoir, mate. Just on the knocker. Gates should be open now, I reckon. Yep. Righto, let's test out this chain retention over some of these rootier kind of trails. Yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to be okay, to be honest. Because you don't want those teeth to grip tight inside the internal links of the chain. It's just a matter of them being tall enough, I guess, and the only thing is, being the 11 tooth cog, the chain is slightly slacker. Oh, yep, there we go. Righto, it just dropped. Well, there we have it. And that's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th gear. Right. Yeah, so just as I was saying, the chain did drop. Granted, these are pretty rough bloody bits of root, and when you're pedaling over it, I think if you're not pedaling over it, you're probably okay. So the only thing is, I don't know whether it's down to the chain ring or if it's down to the tension on the derailleur. I mean, the derailleur is only an Altus sort of non-adjustable clutch derailleur, so you know, it doesn't have that extra tension that I can sort of put into it like I'd have on the 12 speed. So I guess that's going to be one of those issues with this bike, and you know, I was really trying to make it happen there. So I guess you know, like I say, I normally wouldn't pedal over this stuff. I'll just sort of coast over it, and if I was pedaling over it, I'd kind of just pedal kind of more smoothly, because it's that rough that you don't really want to be sort of like, you know, sat down while you're pedaling to get over that stuff. So yeah, I guess if you're going to try and make it happen, it's going to happen, but yeah, I don't reckon it's going to happen all the time. And I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that there's not even a like a chain retainer. You know, you see some of them have chain retainers up here. I mean, this is where it falls off because it's slack here. This derailleur doesn't have the adjustable clutch on it. So yeah, but I know you can get the chain rings too that have that double-sided plate that goes around both sides and sort of retains the chain as well. So that could be another option. But yeah, there you go. We've worked out its limitations. Mind you, I don't normally pedal over that kind of stuff, you know. It's kind of, you normally just kind of roll over that and start pedaling on the smoother stuff, but then this bike isn't designed to do the same stuff as the Julie. So gotta love Happy Valley Resi though, don't you? Where else can you come down and just ride around the edges of a lake or a reservoir? So on the smooth stuff, you know, the gravel and the tarmac, I mean, this thing's pretty flawless. Changes really well. It's a good gear ratio, to be honest. I think it's working out pretty good. But yeah, over that rough stuff, hey, skip, the chain will drop. Mind you though, with the other chain ring, I have had one chain drop, just the one though, and it would have been going over some rough stuff probably while I was pedaling. I wasn't looking out for it, I wasn't trying to make it happen, but yeah, it did happen. Mind you though, the chain and the chain ring were probably worn a bit. Have a suss at all these guys. It's like 10 pelicans there, 3 over there, a couple more down there. I guess, you know, it's a fine balance between having too much chain suck and not enough. You want the chain suck to be able to keep that chain on the full rotation of its, you know, what would you call it, contact with the chain ring, but not too much that it winds itself back up on itself, but not too little that it drops the bloody chain. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or not, but you know, I've been posting up a few things lately in relation to sort of like road safety and cyclists and pedestrians, and how the roads are so skewed towards cars and the flow of traffic at the detriment of pedestrian and cyclist safety. And it's a trigger, man. It's a trigger for these redneck meatheads that want to basically attack you and troll you and post comments like, I hope you get run over, and all this kind of stuff, and you know, like homophobic references and all this kind of thing. It's unbelievable. You literally just have to mention the word cycling and maybe throw in roads and cars or give way or something. I don't know what it is that triggers them, and yeah, they just launch. It's like trigger happy. I had this one guy trolling me, DF_fabrication. I checked out his profile, and he's one of these guys who, I don't know, he either welds or he welds and fits up bull bars and, you know, murder bars, other heavy armour for 4x4s. And it's a business account. It's got his phone number and his email address, business address, the whole lot. And he's trolling me. Like, yeah, I didn't start anything with him, mate. He just seen my reel. And he starts trolling me and saying, I hope you get run over, you cunt. And a whole bunch of other stupid comments. Oh, you're a Subaru driver and a cyclist, you must have been beaten up in school or something. Like, and I'm thinking, so I've got, you know, done the smart remark comeback, but that's about it. But yeah, it's triggered him, mate. So I put up a post yesterday and I screenshotted all his comments and someone else's comments as well that were kind of dumb. And I just wrote about how they get triggered and basically how they're acting like 12-year-old schoolgirls, and they're trolling and they're posting mean replies, and how they're acting like they're 12 years old. And he's been pretty quiet today, but I'm still waiting. I've got his phone number, so yeah, you might get a surprise call if he wants to keep it up. Maybe even a surprise visit. Nah, I probably wouldn't go that far. It's all the way down at Wingfield. It wouldn't waste me petrol and it wouldn't waste my bloody battery down there. But yeah, absolute tool, troll wanker. You know, all I'm trying to do is just sort of like be an advocate for, you know, cyclist safety, and just trying to push the narrative, you know. Like, we've still got this 1960s road car culture where, you know, slip lanes are designed for fast flow of traffic and pedestrians cross over them, and ambiguous rules. People don't know the rules because the signs don't read right, or the signs aren't even there. No education, because it's all about drink driving, drug driving, being on your phone and driving. It's all they ever go on about with these TV kind of campaigns. But yeah, as far as road and, you know, cyclist and pedestrian safety, and yeah, they don't really do it. And you know, with all this talk about 30k speed limits in the city, I'm all for it. 30k speed limit should be on all back streets, all side streets, all minor roads. So minor roads, like this road here to the left of me, Black Road, that's not a minor road. If you can't put a protected bike lane in the street or on the road where it's protected, then the road should be, it should be 30 k's an hour. So when you've got 30 k's an hour, you can have mixed mode traffic, and the road, the cyclists can share the road with the cars because everyone's going slow enough to not causing each other harm. So you can put sharrows on the road, do the traffic calming here and there to make cars slow down and weave in. But you know, as soon as you mention that kind of stuff, drivers, motorists, some of them, not all of them, it just triggers them. Oh, you cyclists, you don't pay rego, you don't do insurance. They don't understand. That's not what pays for roads. It's your taxes, mate. Whoever works and pays tax, they're paying for the roads. It's not just your bloody rego. I think that, you know, because they pay rego and insurance and that they're entitled to the road, and it's only them who are entitled, and if you're in the way, God forbid, you know, I mean, cyclists, if there's no bike lane painted on the road and you only got the one lane, you're allowed to ride in the middle of the lane. You can even ride two abreast and have a chat, just like you can drive a car with your mate sitting next to you and have a chat driving down the road. If you want to whinge about, oh, then I've got to go into the oncoming lane to overtake you, well, you're going to do that with a slow car or out on the highway anyway. You know, what are you afraid of? Just pick the right time and go around. Don't have to be a dick about it. Man, I love this trail. It's just a bit of double track, you know, but you get the bird life, got all this dappled shade, nice cool breeze. 5 minutes from home, well, maybe 10 minutes. What's going on there, Skip? You alright there, bud? Yeah, it's just pretty hazy today, all over Adelaide and all down south here. Look at all the pelicans, sussing all out. Yeah, I was having a chat with a ranger, and he's not aware of any bushfires going on in SA at the moment, so I reckon it's coming from the Grampians. We've got a big bushfire over there in Victoria. Well, I'll tell you what, these new bloody mountain bike shoes, bloody awesome. Gives your feet room to breathe, little toes not getting squashed. So when I got home, I rang up a bike shop, one in the city, and I just asked if they had any 9-speed specific chain rings to suit my Bosch Gen4 motor. And he said, yeah, he's got some. I asked him if they were 9-speed specific, and he sort of said, well, not really, they're kind of universal. I'm like, oh, okay. I've heard a few different things, you know, and I said, look, I've got my old chain ring, which was the FSA Megatooth brand, and the teeth on that were definitely wider. He goes, you know, you could run a 9 to 12 speed on these chain rings here, and that's when I said, well, actually, I'm running a 12-speed chain ring at the moment on my bike because my old one was worn, and it's got a 9-speed chain going through it and a 9-speed group set. And he said, look, that should be absolutely fine. And I said, well, yeah, it's running pretty good. I didn't tell him about the chain drop. Mind you, that was really trying hard to make that happen. So, you know, I think it's going to be all right, to be honest. They use their 12-speed chain rings for, you know, anything from like a 9 or a 10-speed or up to 12-speed. So I guess what it comes down to is making sure that if the chain does drop, then it kind of gets retained on the chain ring. And one way of doing that is to get one of those kind of aftermarket chain retainers that you can sort of bolt onto your frame, and it sort of goes over the top of the chain ring. My son did that to his bike, and he didn't get any more chain drops. So yeah, it's kind of not too bad. So like I say, I've had one previous chain drop going back a few months ago, and then I had this one today, which I really tried hard to make happen. So I don't think it's going to happen all the time. But just for that little safeguard, I reckon, yeah, a little chain retainer might do the trick. So anyway, I'm going to keep running this chain ring, and we'll see how we go. If I come across any more dramas because of it, I'll keep you posted. But, you know, it's kind of all down to the internal width of the chain. And looking online, there's a school of thought that says anything from like Shimano chains 9 up to 12 speed, all the internal widths are the same. And apparently it's 2.18 mil. And then there's another school of thought that says that there's about 1/10 of a mil difference. So the 12-speed chain's slightly narrower than the 9-speed. So I think I'll be right just running this 9-speed chain on the 12-speed chain ring. If there's any other dramas or any other issues that happen, I'll let you know. But I reckon it should be right. So yeah, see how we go. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.